Thanks again to Howard Willens. The book, History Will Prove Us Right. I really appreciate you being so gracious with your time. It's important, I think, that you wrote this book. The autopsy photographs. Who saw the autopsy photographs and why, relative to the Warren Commission?
The only person on the commission or on the staff that saw the autopsy photos and x-rays was the Chief Justice. The Attorney General agreed to make them available under carefully prescribed circumstances, and he and the Chief Justice decided that he would be the person that would look at them. He did look at them. He found the photos gruesome, and so he decided that the commission could not use these in connection with any witness testimony, and these materials were never shown to any of the other members of the commission or to members of the staff. I think in retrospect that was a serious mistake. He reached that conclusion in part because he had come under criticism a few months earlier near the beginning of the investigation when he said publicly in response to questions from the press that all the materials relied upon by the commission would be made public except for those with a national security classification. So the Chief Justice never let the staff consider whether we could use the materials to confirm the accuracy of the testimony of the autopsy doctors and not make them public, recognizing the sensitivities of the family and the lack of any need for the public to actually see the material. So that, in my view, was a mistake. The materials were seen repeatedly over the next 2 decades, and everyone who looked at them confirmed the conclusions of the commission.
In terms of what other information was not known to the commission, Chief Justice Warren didn't find out until 1967 of collusion, for lack of a better word, between the CIA and the mob to bring down Castro. That too would have been significant, no?
Yes, it generally agreed among the staff that the CIA should have told us of the covert activity, including assassination plans. Now, it's generally believed that Allen Dulles, former director of the CIA, had information of the covert activities that took place while he was head of the CIA. And so far as we know, he never described that. However, the staff and the commission were well aware of the antipathy between Cuba and the United States. There was no question but that the United States was trying to unseat Castro and his regime from running Cuba. But nonetheless, I think that if the information had been available to us, we would have conducted a somewhat broader investigation to see whether any of that had showed a link with Oswald or with Ruby.
We have just a few moments left. What did the Warren Commission get wrong, and what have we learned since the Warren Commission concluded its work?
Well, I think I've identified some of the mistakes that I think were made, but I think the important thing is that the conclusion that Oswald was the sole assassin remains unrefuted. There was no second shooter. There was no person with a rifle seen on the scene. There was no a cartridge discovered on the grassy knoll or elsewhere. There was no third or fourth or fifth bullet that hit anyone in the car or the car itself. There was no second shooter. As to an existence of a conspiracy, the speculation runs amok. But the fact is that there may be 63 reasons why Oswald didn't kill the president, but there's no facts to indicate that anyone, whether it was the CIA or the Soviet Union or Cuba or the Mafia or the Teamsters Union, that played a role in helping Oswald assassinate the president or helping Ruby kill Oswald. And we have to look for facts and evidence, because it's the facts and evidence that the commission had that was a foundation for its findings. And most of the critics of the Warren Commission report forget that our basic findings were confirmed by the Select Committee in 1979, and the medical evidence and ballistics evidence has been ratified by all the experts who've looked at it since.
So history, you would argue, has treated the Warren Commission well in terms of other bodies, other investigations having looked at this, not the Venturas of the world, but people who have invested time and expertise into this have come to the same conclusion.
Yes, that's correct. Now, you know that the Select Committee did posit a conspiracy based on acoustics evidence, which was subsequently refuted by a National Academy of Sciences study. But the basic conclusions of the commission have been confirmed by the decades. And I'm not saying the examination or investigation was flawless. I'm not saying there weren't people that could have been interviewed, but I am saying that the investigation was a substantial and well-intentioned investigation and produced the conclusions that I've cited.